time for questions later on.
Dzień dobry, Agnieszka
Good afternoon. My name is Agnieszka Pawłowska and my name is Aneta Wojtas. Hello. Yeah, my colleague will be my technical assistant, moving slides, and I will add anything to what I find perhaps maybe quite pertinent apart from what is included on the slides. Yep. The topic of our presentation is how to undertake interventions in cases of cyber violence. As you have heard before lunch, and I think that this topic or this theme has been quite recurrent, this is not a phenomenon which is unknown, but one which still calls for much intervention and calls for activities on the part of different institutions. It cannot be limited to a single project such as ourselves. And by the way, we're going to tell you what Helpline is all about in a minute. So this activity is called for on the part of different institutions, such as schools, etc. A few words about helpline.org.pl. This title has appeared many a time today. It is worth to say that it is a project of the Nobody's Children Foundation and the TP group. It is co-financed by the European Commission as part of Safer Internet Plus program. It's a project which is relatively young. It's been inaugurated, or it was inaugurated during the Day of Safe Internet in 2007, on the 6th of February to be exact. And this project is still relatively small because there's only 6 of us working in the team, including our coordinator Katarzyna Fenik, leading the team. Agnieszka and I, we are the ones who directly work with calls helping children directly. Of course, I should add that this team would never have been able to work if it wasn't for all the consultants and assistants nationwide, because we cooperate with the police and the prosecutor's office and the family court, as well as the teachers and parents and educators. Without that help, all our ideas would be in vain. So our team has been mentioned here, okay, of course, but we're always open to broaden cooperation, make it as broad as possible. The objective is to provide assistance and help to children and youth in situations of threat on the internet, as well as when they use mobile telephony. This is the main direction of our activities, but it also includes any activities so as to change or lead to systemic changes which make it possible to better protect the young. We know that in the law there are many loopholes in terms of the internet, and in this field, therefore, we try to be as active as possible with the help of many, of course, those who are very much sort of in the law. And we try to provide and submit our remarks and our thoughts and remarks which stem from the fact that we are in constant touch with children. And yes, we are in touch with children and we use many different means of communication. It is really the children who approach us. The helpline is a telephone line which children can call Monday through Friday from 11 to 4 p.m. It's a toll-free number, 0800 100 100. Children can, as I've said, call free of charge, and for that reason the telephones are many that we get. It is also possible to get in touch with us via email, helpline@helpline.org.pl. And since children have no problems with using computers, they do email us. It is also possible to get through to us via a chat room. The link to this chat room is on our website, and from that website it is possible to get in touch with us. It's www.helpline.org.pl. That service is also available from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. if anybody wants to get in touch with us later. or outside of those hours, it's possible to leave a message, and then we respond to these messages as soon as possible the following day. This is what our website looks like. This is a chat started with a child. It's enough to get onto that link. It looks kind of like an ICQ, like a messenger, and the child is one-on-one with a consultant. Okay, who do we address this helpline aid to? Well, first of all, youth and children in situations that they find difficult on the internet. In other words, when they're taunted or mocked, when they're bullied, when they're blackmailed, or when they're sent vulgar or obscenities to, or when they're asked certain uncomfortable questions in the different fora and chat rooms, or when they're asked to be sent photographs. Also, when they're in touch with content such as pornography or violent content, or propagating any type of antisocial behavior, or anything related to drugs, or propagating Nazism, fascism, or psychomanipulation, different types of pseudo-religious sects. Also, we can help those who are addicted to the internet. However, in such cases, it is not the addicts themselves who try to approach us, because the addict is the last one who is aware of the addiction that he or she is suffering from. Our assistance is also addressed to parents who notice in their house that something's wrong with the child, and they do not know how to talk about it. They are helpless, not knowing what to do. They see that a child has been in touch or has had a contact with dangerous content, dangerous materials. When a child has been subject to cyber violence, or when they see that the child is getting funny or having strange friends on the internet. Very often we do not realize this, that it is the parents who also need this type of help. Sometimes the parents are absolutely alien to the internet. They do not know how to use this reality or virtual reality, and they do not have the skills, the internet and computer skills that the children do, and in such cases they often need our help. We also, of course, help psychologists, professionals in cases when children or parents come to them in relation to cases of threats on the internet. Whenever there's peer violence cases, etc., you know very well yourself that if work in schools, that may be a problem for adults. We should also perhaps try to remind ourselves of what is cyberbullying or cyber violence. This is a phenomenon of sending or publishing, with the use of computers, internet, or cell phones, different types of materials that are aimed at inflicting harm to another person. But there are other threats related to cyberbullying, such as exposing other people to dangerous material. In other words, if a child encounters something that he or she doesn't want to see, but is being sent that as a joke or something like that, we also treat it as a cyberbullying case, because it may be a very traumatic experience for the child. Also, what do we mean by dangerous materials? Those that are violent, that are pornographic, that are instigating different types of antisocial behavior, promoting different types of regimes and ideologies that encourage to prostitution, use of drugs, and it is also with the abuse of this
To też
person,
jest rodzaj cyberprzemocy.
abusing this person's trust and
Tutaj
confidence.
mamy
To us, that is also
kilka
cyberbullying.
przykładów
Here we
takich
have
treści,
a
które
few
dla nas, jako odbiorców
samples
telefonów od
of
dzieci są już
such
szkodliwe, bo one o tym mówią.
of
Jest to na przykład
such
strona podżegająca do popełnienia samobójstwa,
examples. So here we
która
have
niebezpieczna, bo propaguje
a
samobójstwo jako
website
sposób
instigating or
rozwiązywania problemu.
encouraging
Rozsyłana
to
jako ciekawa,
suicide.
zabawna
This
strona.
is sent
Tam są
out
wpisy
or
dzieci
sent
mówiące o
around
tym, jak
as
można
a
popełnić
funny website, and
samobójstwo.
there are descriptions
Jest niewiele wpisów
done by
mówiących o
children
tym,
how to
nie
commit
popełniaj
suicide. There are
samobójstwa.
very few there are
Następnym
very
miejscem, gdzie
few
jest
messages
też
saying
szkodliwa
do not
treść, może
commit
być to
suicide.
rodzaj cyberprzemocy dla dziecka, to jest czat, gdzie zawierane są nowe
Also,
znajomości, a niki
another
użytkowników
place
są wulgarne, z
is
podtekstem
a
erotycznym,
regular
bądź
chat
seksualnym.
room
I pojawiają
where
się
the
erotyczne
nicknames
propozycje.
have
Młoda za
a
pieniądze.
sexual
I to jest
connotation
już
or
jako
erotic
nick
connotations.
osoby
For
tam
example, a
logującej
young
się.
one for money.
To wygląda
That
dość
is a
sympatycznie.
nickname, a nick of a user.
Teraz
I mean, the
truskaweczki tu
website
się,
looks fairly
ale strona
nice. You
jest
have the
bardzo
Teletubbies
wulgarna.
and you have strawberries, but the content, the text is extremely obscene, extremely vulgar. Maybe that's even for the better that you cannot see the fine print, because we were very much taken aback by or with what or how creative young people can be in developing or creating or generating such nicks, how vulgar they can be. Another possibility is to indicate one's location on a city map. If you're logging onto a portal, it is possible for you to show what your location is. If I were to zoom it by these different dots, I would get the address, the nick, the photograph, and the full name of the given child. And to us, it's a very dangerous type of content because nobody knows who can this information be used by. It's possible to locate a given child using a map. Funny pictures. Entitled King is One. This is something that deteriorates the image of the reality as perceived by young people. A homeless person under an Adidas logo. I mean, this is seen as a funny type of photograph sent around by children. To us, it's also cyberbullying. Another category of a funny picture, of a funny photograph, a car driving into a crowd of people. This is a category of funny pictures, but making children insensitive to such situations. And these types of contents are ever more available to very young internet users. Yes, and in the context of also what Agata was talking about before lunch, a witness of violence who is an important person in this context. In the context of what we've said, if a child can open up a website under the title Funny Pages and sees these types of pictures, I think it's very traumatic for the adult. I mean, it's horrid to an adult. How is it possible that anybody could actually think that this is funny? I mean, everybody, but when a young person enters such a website, he or she thinks, well, everybody else thinks it's funny, so I guess it is funny. So I think it's really worth it to make sure that these types of situations on the internet are simply non-existent, because if a child is subject to such a change in convictions by looking at such content, and after a few years of looking at such content, perhaps this child could start doing horrid things such as this, keeping thinking that this is funny. I mean, we have many examples of this theory. Here we have the websites that the children are particularly prone to cyberbullying. Community services, ePulse, Grono, also Wrzuta.pl, YouTube, where you can upload a small film made with the use of a mobile phone. also ICQ and messengers,
Czaty i fora internetowe, gdzie dzieci są
chat
ośmieszane,
rooms and internet
obrażane, czasem
fora
też
where
straszone.
children are
Blogi,
bullied,
gdzie
they're mocked at,
cyberprzemoc,
also
włamania na
blogs,
blogi i zamieszczanie śmiesznych
breaking
lub
into
nielegalnych
blogs
treści.
and uploading
Później
illegal
poczta
or
e-mailowa,
quote-unquote
gdzie
funny
rozsyłane są
content,
do
or
znajomych
so
informacje
email,
zawierające
where
albo określające treści,
information is
albo treści
disseminated
szkodliwe.
among email
Zdjęcia,
users
filmiki
with
bądź
taunting or
Również zakładanie
bullying or
prywatnych
mocking
stron to też
content
jest
about a
mało
person.
bezpieczne miejsce,
Also,
gdzie dzieci nie
private
wiedzą, jak sobie z tym
websites,
radzić,
if children do
bo
not
te
know how to
strony są
manage such sites,
zakładane w celu właśnie
because after all,
ośmieszenia,
these
znieważenia jakiejś
websites
osoby.
are
I
also
SMS-y,
often
przez które można
started
dostać
to
groźby,
mock other people,
obrażeń,
and
szantażu.
text messages. So generally speaking, these are the many places where cyberbullying is very much present and possible. Now, let me tell you how we respond to the calls that we get at Helpline. At the very beginning, we try to diagnose the situation. We want to determine what the problem is about and who is it that needs our help and what kind of help is needed. Further on, there is a consultative process which is about informing the person about the security methods on the internet and how to collect proof, evidence. That's particularly important, particularly when we're talking about crimes. We also provide legal assistance, legal advice, also with the help of a lawyer that is working with us. We are trying at this stage to determine whether a given case is already a crime and what to do. We also provide psychological support, and we also undertake interventions with the internet providers or with web administrators, so that whenever we have a case of cyberbullying at a portal or at any other place, it is possible for us to get in touch and react as quickly as possible. And of course, we cooperate with the police, referring the person directly to the police. We help formulate a particular call to the police or the prosecutor's office. So here in this case, we're also able to help sometimes. This cooperation that we have with the police helps us determine the different methods of collecting evidence. We always inform the people who call us or get in touch with us to first and foremost so that the children, first and foremost, have the awareness that all of this evidence, be it text messages, the different conversations from the messengers or whatever other tools, are maintained, are not deleted, that all of that should be recorded, that perhaps screens should be copied, and should it be available to record otherwise, in any other way, all that is happening on the screen. And also how to copy the screen, for example. I mean, we have procedures or sort of step-by-step instructions how to go about doing things like that. I mean, we're not going to go into details now, but we see that there is much need for that. I mean, as much as children know it, adults hardly ever do. And we would like to show you a typical, not a typical, but maybe an example of a call that we got. Parents of a girl wrote to us. A film with her was uploaded at a portal with films. The girl was mentally impaired, very serious impairment, and this particular video or film was uploaded so that she could be mocked at, so that to joke around or make fun of her misfortune. And the parents were really very irritated with that and really wanted to get hold of the perpetrator as soon as possible. We first went off with the diagnosis of the situation. We saw what the problem was, that the perpetrators recorded a girl knowing that she was mentally impaired and could do nothing about it. The girl, however, knew what had happened, and she required psychological help. So did the parents, by the way, and they also needed help in terms of information as what they could do in this situation. And here we provided this consultation, offered this consultation as to how to collect all this data, that we needed the film, the very recording as evidence. Also, we told the parents to address the portal administrator to block the screening of the film, but not to delete the film, so that we could use it as evidence later on. We also sought legal advice, and indeed this whole action was seen as a crime pursuant to appropriate paragraphs of the code. But of course, in both of the cases, it was up to the parents who had to make a decision whether they wanted to take this to the prosecutors or not.
To jest włamanie, które również jest przestępstwem.
There is also another crime. We also have to remember that these crimes can be taken to court on the basis of an appropriate paragraph in the code, seeing them as civil crimes. I'm sorry, but the lady's not speaking to a microphone with no idea what she's saying. I'm a prosecutor, and it is again that I see a mistake made here. The information that you are conveying here is disseminated broadly. Then I would like to tell you that the situations that you're showing here do not fall under Article 207. In this example and in the previous example too. Well, I think that we're taking advantage of the provisions of the law that already exist. Oh, but 207 does exist. Yeah, okay, I understand, I get it. I'm not saying that this article includes this article or not. What we're talking about is whenever there is a doubt whether a child has committed a crime or not, we encourage to get in touch with us, and we will look in the law, confirm this information with the law, whether the crime has indeed taken place and what can be done with it. So not that the child has to deal with it by him or herself, or that the parent has to deal with it, but to get in touch with us and seek support either with us or the prosecutors or the police where they have a juvenile section. You know, getting that message or taking this to any of these institutions, because what is most important to understand is that what happened is not a joke. Parents also received information from us about the different activities they should undertake, that they can take this to the prosecutor, that they can apply for finding the perpetrators, and they also should convey to what extent or how they want the perpetrators to be sanctioned or penalized. And we have this information to get in touch with us, and also to get in touch with the portal where the film was or could be sort of blocked but not deleted. But it is also possible, and in this case it was very important to also get in touch with the school, because our intervention does not end with the police, but it ends once the whole situation goes back to normal, and that is as much related to the children as to the parents. What we saw on the film before the break, where we saw, the children making a film about two other children, and the police come in, and then those children, they again play together. Again, this is the situation that we're aiming at. This is what our cooperation is about, so that we can go back to the original situation. Any such type of comments are very sound, because we have certain limited possibilities of being in touch with the prosecutors, right? I mean, we have lawyers, we conduct training courses for the policemen, and it is from them that we get feedback from, and we very much use this information in our work. So any comments, any remarks of this type are indeed extremely important. And we really do count on you feeding them to us, because this interdisciplinary team that we have on combating threats in the internet is an extremely important issue. And this is the only way that it can be done. The only way we can resolve this problem is by joint efforts in an interdisciplinary manner. And we're trying to introduce such a cooperation due to the fact that we're a new project. I think that we're only at the beginning of our relations with different entities, including web administrators, where we're always trying to get in to know them personally, where we also notify of any cases of violation, but also so that we can jointly react together with web administrators if we see that, for example, in the rules, there are certain items which we find can open the door to consenting to any indecent material on the internet. We always try, furthermore, to cooperate with parents because in cases of, say, in case, say, a case of crimes been noticed, obviously, very often a child cannot take this case to anybody, so we try to get in touch with the child in a manner so that with time the child is able to provide us with appropriate information and data. We also provide this type of support for parents, helping them out throughout this whole process. We also cooperate with schools in specific cases of cyberbullying by instructing schools as to how to get in touch with other institutions. And soon we will have ready a manual on intervention procedures in cases of cyberbullying in schools that is going to be done in cooperation with an appropriate psychological assistant center. And on top of that, we of course cooperate with the police, we consult, we also organize courses for policemen, for police forces who deal with such cases in their work. Other institutions that we work with, unfortunately, I'm afraid that we've run out of time, so please do feel free to get in touch with us. Of course, not only today, but you can get in touch with us at our email addresses or via our website. So we're open to any suggestions and questions, and that'll be it for now. Thank you very much.